Well, as you know, I like to review a lot of the Japanese wrestling stuff because you guys, if you like those, I can guess that some of you guys enjoy it. So, right now, we got three events we're going to talk about from three different promotions on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, matches, wrestlers, championships. I'm your host, J Rod here. So, as you know, I'm going to be reviewing Japanese wrestling from three different promotions. The first one we're going to talk about is Dragon Gate with the start of their latest tour, the New Year Gate. And this took place on the 9th of January. So, let's start with the first match. We have a six-man tag team match with Maisaki Mochizuki, Dragon Kid, and Yamato facing off against Team Boku, Punch Tominaga, Ryo Sato, and Bukutimo Dragon. Now, this match, like I said before on previous about when I see Dragon Gate events, I have been following Team Boku. They're like a very interesting tag team that a faction that I like because they've done a bit of the comedic. Noriki Doi has been injured thanks to RAD, but this match was a little different. Um, Basically, because as you know, there are some people that are not in factions anymore; they're independent, away from factions. Now, my initial assumption, Team Boku was going to win it, but it didn't go that way. It ended up with Mochizuki and Kid and Yamato winning the match. So basically, it was a very interesting match, but not one of the best ones I've seen so far in Dragon Gate. Next match is a tag team match. First team we have UT and Yosuke Santamaria versus RAD members Heyo and Die Inferno. Now, in this particular match, I mentioned many times how aggressive RAD is. They don't play by anybody's rules. They just like to get in and try to disrupt everything, try to claim that they run the entire Dragon Gate promotion. And that's exactly what happened with um, RAD, with Hale, and of course, Dragon Diferno. They won their match on that. Next match, we have Yasushi Kanda versus Keisuke Okada. The match was more hard hitting on this one. If you know, there have been a lot of striking events when it comes to Okuda. Okuda is their current Open the Brave Gate champion, so he did an amazing job facing Kanda, and Kanda did an excellent job, tried to maintain his ways, but however, he was no match for Okuda. But however, in post match, it appears Okuda has a new challenger, and that is Team Boku member Punch Tominaga. Now, there was no English commentator, so I can assume that maybe he's asking Okuda for an opportunity of the Open the Brave Gate Championship, which I assume, but I'll follow it closely when we get there. Next match, we have Kagetora and Don Fujin facing off against newcomer uh, Takedo Kamea, teaming with the Master and the founder of Dragon Gate, Ultimo Dragon. Facing this was a really interesting match. You have Kamai and Dragon beat a first time team because you got a younger of as Nico would call these guys young lions, even though they're not. I like to call them young boys because they're in training. This guy really impressed me. He was able to somehow pull off a biggest upset in his career, and that upset was pinning Don Fuji. Now, if you guys ask me, why is that a bigger upset? Don Fuji is a veteran wrestler in the same kind of predicament as Ultimo Dragon. They're both in their 50s. So, even though Don Fuji was not too pleased with the losing with the match, instead of taking it out on the kid, he takes it out on the ref. So, it is what it is. Next match we have, it's an 8-man tag team match. Masquerade with Jason Lee, Kota Minoura, Last Giant, and Shun Skywalker versus RED, BB Hulk, Diamante, Eita, and Hip Hop Kikatura. Now, much of this time, I've always expected RED would win because they always cheat every match they have. But however, somehow Masquerade did not allow RED to pick up the victory. And I feel right now Masquerade are showing more character as a prominent faction or unit, as they call it in Japan, and very impressive what they do. And I was so amazed with Masquerade, especially what they can do, even now being a faction of their own. So they picked up the victory on this one. Then the main event we have is a interesting 6-man tag team. We got the return of Natural Vibes, Genki Horiguchi, KZ, and Zuzuma Yokosuka. Now, you might ask me, why is that important? 2 years ago, the factions broke off into three that are called the Generational War. Members from different factions joined to another faction, Generational War units. There's the Toromon, and of course, the Dragon Gate generation. Genki and Suzuma were trained by Ultimo Dragon, so they joined the Toromon generational faction. While KZ, who is was not trained by Ultimo Dragon, joined the Dragon Gate generation faction because these guys were the guys after Toromon before they changed their name. And of course, uh, late last year, KZ made the announcement along with Yamato and a few others that Dragon Gate Generational were calling it quits, and KZ had no clue what to do until he had a surprise visit from both Genki and Suzumu. And it was so crazy. And I kind of figured, okay, so they're reforming, um, what's their name? Natural Vibes, which was the faction that they had together. Now there were two other members involved. Punch Tominaga, but he's currently with Team Boku, and then there's brother Hashi. Uh, don't know if he's gonna rejoin or he's gonna stay independent. That depends on how they're gonna go with this one. So they decided to make their return, facing off RAD members, 2/3 of the Open the Triangle title holders. We got Kaito Ishida, who's not one of the title holders. We had Takashi Yoshida and SB Kento. So these two, Yoshida and Kento, are two of the three title holders of the Open the Triangle Gate. Now, this match kind of brought them back to what you guys don't know about. Natural Vibes, Genki, KZ, and Suzumu, they were all champions as the Open the Triangle Gate champion. They held it before. They're no strangers. They were one of the longest running champions for that, and now they get an opportunity to reclaim. However, the only way they could do that is either to pin SB Kento or to Yoshida, which, in matter of fact, it was Genki who pinned SB Kento and allowing them to get an opportunity for the Open the Triangle Gate Championships. So I can't wait to see that. I know there's an event for that one. It's already been put out. I'll catch up to that as soon as possible. So I think that's it. What we got with Dragon Gate. I think let's move on with DDT Pro Wrestling. Okie dokie. So as you guys know, DDT Pro Wrestling, they just had one of their recent events called Go to DDT Volume 1. This also took place on the 9th of January at Cork and Hall. Am I hopefully I got it right. So the first match was well, basically it was a dark match. It was Toy Kojima teaming with um, Keigo Nakamura taking on Hideki Okatani and Tomomitsu Matsunaga. Hopefully, I got those right. It was an interesting dark match, but mostly I have seen all these guys what they can do, especially Keigo Nakamura. He's very tough. He acts like a high school nerd who's been on steroids or something, but it was so cool. But however, the match goes to Hideki Okutani and Matsunaga. So they won the dark match. So it was I don't know why they if this was supposed to be a dark match, they should not have posted it, but they did. Don't ask me why. Now on the main card, we have an interesting 8-man tag team match. First team we got Antonio Honda, Kazuki uh, Hirata, Akito, and Super Sasadango Machine. Well, technically it's Keigo Nakamura. Sasa what was his name again? Super Sasadango was there. He had him dressed up as him. He's trying to control him by talking to him through the monitor. You know, that type of thing. They were facing off against Shinjiro Tagagi, then Shuko Dino, Owashi, and Saki Akia. Much of the match was more of a comedic style, as Antonio Honda dressed up as a Buddhist. I don't know why, but it was very interesting. But however, the one person you know he's gonna pull his pants down is none other than Shuko Dino. He does that. But there was a great moment where Akito grabbed Saki Akia's purse and shoves it into Dino's butt. Yeah, he just shoved it right in there. And it was so funny. But if you put your face right in his butt, right in the crack, you pass out. But however, the match ended when they broke Shanjiro's Tagagi's watch, allowing him to allowing what's his name Akito to pick up the victory and won the match. I thought it was a real funny match. They were all dressed up in street clothes, well, except for Antonio Honda dressed up like a Buddhist. Next match is a tag team match. We got Shuma Katsumata teaming up with Chris Brooks, taking on Damnation members Mad Pauly and Yuji Hino. The match was pretty much a power hit by Damnation. They are the powerhouse group within the faction themselves. They pretty much played that apart. And, excuse me. But it was a very interesting match. But I kind of figured Damnation were going to win it because you got these two huge dudes in Damnation. You know they're unstoppable. So they took the victory on this one. Next match is another tag team. We got Mao and Konosuke Takeshita taking on Yukio Naya and Harashima. Now, I was pretty much biased on these because I've seen these guys on various occasions. I didn't know who was going to win, but much of the match was a bit of a aggressiveness from both sides. But it was Mao and Konosuke Takeshita that pick up the victory on this one. Now we go into I think this is 6-man. Yeah, 6-man. We got Yosuke Okada teaming with Gensudo members Mizuki Watsade, Makoto Oshii taking on Damnation members Nobuhiro Shimatani, Daisuke Sasaki, and Tetsuya Endo. Pretty good match. It was a really interesting 6-man tag team match, even though I wasn't expecting how this is going to go. Like, I always suspect Damnation was going to win, but man, it was Yosuke Okada who picked up the victory on this one by pinning um, Daisuke Sasaki on this one. I was like, wow, pretty cool. I don't know if he will get a title shot with him or so. No, I don't think he has a title at all. Well, I gotta remember. I keep losing track. Now let's jump into the last two matches, but with championship on the line. First team we have for the KOD Tag Team Championship with Soma Takao of Damnation teaming up with Strongheart member and leader of them, Shima, taking on Eruption, Yukio Sakaguchi, and Kasusada Iguchi. And this was a very interesting match because, as you know, Strong Arts and Damnation are now, if you guys don't know this, that Strong Arts and Damnations are now aligned with each other. It's kind of interesting because I kind of assumed that um, Takao was going to win the match with Shima on this one, but it didn't go exactly like that. It ended with Eruption picking up the victory where Yukio pinned Takao on this one. I was like, wow. So they continue to maintain their titles. Now the main event is for the DDT Universal Championship. Now this match was already been set weeks ago. The challenger is Shota. Now Shota is 1/3 of the KOD six-man tag team champions, along with two others. During the match, the champion for that title was also in the six-man, and Shota pinned him. So automatically, he gets an opportunity of the DDT Universal Championship. So basically, he gave him this match, and the match was great. So great. It was so great. You can see the determination of Shota trying to obtain a third belt. Now, he does have two under his wing. Like I said, he's 1/3 of the KOD six-man tag team champion. He's also title holder of the Independent Junior Heavyweight Championship. So basically, he's trying to get another belt on his corner. I don't know if he's trying to do the whole Ultimate Dragon where he obtained 10 or 8 or 10 belts. But however, it did go. The champion Yuki Ueno maintained his title. He was able to hold on to it, but however, post match, he in fact got another challenger, and that's Yukio Sakaguchi. So basically, he wants to obtain another title. So don't know when that will happen, but I will follow this one closely. Now let's get to the last one, which is Pro Wrestling Noah. Okay, the final review is from Pro Wrestling Noah for their latest event, Higher Ground, that took place on the 10th of January in Korakuen Hall as well. Um, First match of the night was um, Yatsu Taka Yano and Kaiji Fujimura taking on Full Throttle, Yohei and Seiki Yoshioka. Hope I got those right. It was a pretty interesting match, but however, this is the first team, Yano and Fujimura. They're both a bit of the young boys, like still in training, but Yano was a bit more eccentric. In Sector, he tries to pretend he can take be the tough guy here, but however, when it comes to Full Throttle, you don't have a chance against two of the best junior. Sorry, two of the best junior heavyweights contenders in Pro Wrestling Noah, which Yano should have known. So Full Throttle won their match. Next match we have Kinya Okuda teaming up with Yoshiki Inamura taking on Shohei Taniguchi and Mohamed Yone. So as you know, I have followed most of these guys around. Kinya Okuda is an amazing wrestler. Then Yoshiki Inamura is very impressive. Shohei and Mohamed a very interesting duo. Mohamed Yone has that afro, kind of like 70s look. Their theme song is from Earth, Wind, and Fire. But great match, and particularly on this one, especially when it comes to Shohei and Mohamed. They won this match. You know, I've seen these guys on various occasions. I always consider them a joke, but however they're not. I realize okay, you shouldn't judge them, but I'm glad I pay attention now, watching every competitor in this match. So Mohammed and Shohei won this match. Next match is a six-man tag team match. We have Kotaro Suzuki, Nozawa Ranga, and Hikato Hidaka taking on Junta Miyawaki, Daiki Inaba, and Atsushi Kotoge. So basically, if you guys know, the first team they have been together, hanging out mostly with uh, oh, Suzuki, Nosawa, and of course Hikata, who was wearing a mask. This is the first time we see them as a team, and they were very impressive taking on what's his name, Inaba, Miyawaki, and of course Koroge. I kind of figured they were going to win because they're trying to show themselves that they're the most impressive team ever. They're mostly junior heavyweight contenders on this one, and we may see them one day obtaining whatever they got for both the JHW, you know, the GHC junior heavyweight and the junior heavyweight tag team titles together. But they were very impressive as a team. Now we get to the faction known as Congo, with using their junior heavyweight contenders, Neo and Hao and Takagutse taking on Stinger, all three members. Now keep in mind, Neo and Hao are in line to face Stinger members um, Yoshinari Ogawa and Hayata for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. And basically, this is one of those previews or exhibitions we get to see because I know that Neo and now are determined to win these titles. Very impressive teamwork on Congo's part. You know, they're a bit of aggressive, but they never let their ego get in the way to ensure they can win this match to prove a point that they are the best of what they can do. So Congo, Neo now, and Tadasuke won this match. Now we get to the junior heavyweight championship match. We have Full Throttle member Hajime Ohara taking on the champion Daisuke Arada. Great match on their parts. I didn't expect what's his name Harada to have a bit of momentum against no wasn't that's not Ohare to have more momentum than Harada at all. I was like, whoa. But you may never know if he will be able to win the title. But somehow Harada was able to turn the tables and win the match, main, retaining his junior heavyweight championship. But however, it looks like another Full Throttle member decided he wants to challenge him, which is he's fine with it. He doesn't mind. Now we get to the main event, which is the 8-man tag team match. We have Congo members Masaki Kiramiya, Manabu Soya, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and Kenno taking on Kaito Kiyomiya, Naomichi Marufuji, Takashi Sigura, and Go Shiosaki. This was like more of an all-star team. Miyafuji is part of M's Alliance, and Sigihura is in fact a member of his faction known as Sigihura uh, Goon. So they join forces with another team to take on Congo. But Congo has shown a lot of impressive ways. They are determined to prove that they are the most dominant faction within Pro Wrestling Noah, which they have since Keno is the current national championship, and of course Neo and now are determined to win the tag team title. So this is pretty good. I like it. So it was Congo who won the match. Even Keno gave some promo At the end, I didn't know what he was saying, but I can see in his eyes that he's determined to continue moving forward to succeed in Congo. So I think that's pretty much it. So stay tuned for the next episode with the Wednesday Night War. Got one with the Ring of Honor, MLW, NXT UK, and of course 205 Live soon, and New Japan Strong, and more Japanese wrestling coming away, and also Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is going to be interesting. I've never seen it before, but I'll be discussing all of that in different timing. So I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.